Okay, so today we are going to start with what international current affairs. So international current affairs, we all know at least 3 to 4 questions will be coming from international current affairs. So hence we are going to discuss some important organizations, okay, the current meetings, conventions, agreements, and definitely important locations connected with them. Okay, so we are going to do all those things in detail. Yes. Now, so in this, so international current affairs are a huge thing, and they will be requiring at least 2 or 3 days to be covered in detail. And our purpose is to connect with everything because you have to score as much as possible in the examination. So let's start. Let's start without taking too much time. So I'm going to start with the okay. So first of all, what I expect is you should be revising the things on daily basis. I hope after the class, it will be requiring hardly 1 hour or 1.5 hours to revise the entire thing. Yeah. So that means when you are able to do all these classes, means 20, 25 classes, whatever the class number of classes that come out from current affairs. And that means if I'm sharing around, though the font size is large for that you to see, but we are covering on an average 38 to 40 pages per day. So that means in 20 classes around 800 pages. And that 800 pages of what filtered current affairs, most relevant ones. And if you cover them in what a month of April means you are confident for at least 30 questions, 35 questions. Clear? And rest is your conceptual part, the core part that you need to revise again and again. Now, besides this, I will also be hinting towards the other core area things which are to be connected and revised by you. Very clear. So let's start today with what United Nations Convention Against Corruption. Now, United Nations Convention Against Corruption, it's a convention. What is the convention? Convention is a large gathering of international organizations, the government, their officials, convention. Now, United Nations Convention Against Corruption. So it marked what 20th anniversary in the year 2023. So it means it completed 20 years of this convention. Now, when it originated, so 20 years back, that is December 9, 2003 in Mexico. But again, there's a differentiation between when it was first held and when it came into force. So as a legally binding instrument, it came into force in December 2005. So that means from December 2005, it came into force. So hence, International Anti-Corruption Day is observed on 9th of December. That is the first time when the meeting happened, December 9, 2003. Hence, December 9 became the International Anti-Corruption Day. Now, another thing is it's legally binding. So legally binding means the countries who have ultimately ratified this has to bring what laws which are similar across the world. Laws which are similar across the world so as to make it applicable throughout respective countries. Now, so the convention covers 5 main areas. For example, preventive measures. So preventive measures of corruption. So we have got various anti-corruption act in our country. Now, criminalization and law enforcement. That means we have also got what agencies like ED, CBI. Okay. International cooperation. So international cooperation happens through what? You must be knowing Interpol. Yes. International cooperation through Interpol. Asset recovery. So that means now we have brought what? Fugitive Offenders Act also. So for asset recovery. And technical assistance and information exchange. So these are the key areas which is legally binding. So all the countries should be bringing respective acts and agencies and organizations in their countries. So hence, convention covers many different forms of corruption such as bribery, trading influences, abuse of functions, and various acts of corruption in the private sector. That means this becomes information. From this, what comes out? First of all, December 9 is the International Anti-Corruption Day. Now, 20 years of this UNCAC. Now, it's a legally binding. So hence, this line becomes important. And there are 5 main areas of action which are legally binding. Very clear? Now, let's talk about 19th NAM Summit. Now, NAM. Now, when was the last time you heard about NAM? Is the government very much concerned about NAM? Now, that means India's foreign policy is in doldrums. Yes. So our neighbors are unhappy with us. The global big powers are ultimately trying to teach us a lesson. So that means we are actually losing on the foreign front. And in such a scenario, we are not utilizing an organization like NAM. But let us talk about the last summit which happened of NAM. So 19th NAM summit. So which number? 19th NAM summit was a recent summit. So where it was held? In Uganda, in Africa. Kampala. Kampala is the capital of Uganda. Now here, so while starting the conference, here there was a scenario in 1970s where there was a dictator in Uganda by the name Idi Amin. So Idi Amin forced out the Asians from Uganda, which included various Indians who finally settled what where in United Kingdom. Now he sought apology for his actions, his past actions. Okay. That means when you see Uganda expressed his regret over the expulsion of Indians by Idi Amin in 1970s. Now, what are the key highlights? Key highlights of the 19th summit? The first of all, UPSC may ask the theme. So what is the theme? Deepening cooperation for shared global affluence. So UPSC can give a statement, which of the following summits had got the following theme? Yes. Or maybe this with reference to the theme given above. So this theme was in the context of NAM or other organizations. So it can give 4 organizations. So the theme should be remembered. So now the theme is, or theme was, deepening cooperation for shared global affluence. Now, Uganda has taken over the chairpersonship or the chairmanship from Azerbaijan. So previous chairperson was Azerbaijan. Now at this moment, it's Uganda. So here the chairpersonship or the chairmanship for the organization rotates every 3 years. Every 3 years. Okay. So now, so hence Uganda is the chair of the NAM till 2027. So hence it adopted the Kampala Declaration. So Kampala is the capital of Uganda. So again, Kampala Declaration is associated with which of the following organizations? A, B, C, D. So let's say 19th NAM Summit, Kampala Declaration. So Kampala Declaration, first of all, it slammed Israeli military aggression in Gaza, calling for implementation of UN Security Council resolution to allow humanitarian aid for the Gaza Strip. India was represented by Jaishankar, External Affairs Minister. Though it was a summit meeting, Prime Minister should be there. Yes, but here it was only the Foreign Minister. Now, overall, NAM was established in which year? 1961. A little background. Where? In Belgrade. Belgrade, where in? Erstwhile Yugoslavia. Yes, Yugoslavia also broke up in various smaller countries. So Belgrade is now in Serbia. Serbia, which was earlier the part of Yugoslavia. Now, through the major initiatives, we all know the 5 major. You must have read in basic what your class notes also. So Marshal Tito of Yugoslavia, Abdul Nasser of Egypt, Jawaharlal Nehru of India, Sukarno of Indonesia, and Kem Nkrumah of Ghana. Yes, so 5 major. Now, we will be discussing more thing about what NAM also in a little more detail also. Now, it was formed, we all know, Cold War. When the Cold War started between the 2 blocks, the Warsaw Pact countries and the NATO countries. Clear? So that means there emerged what certain countries which have achieved now freedom, who have ultimately moved out from colonialism. They decided not to go with either of, yes, either of the NATO or the Warsaw Pact countries. So hence they were also termed as third world countries. Third world country means they are not going to align with either of the 2 major blocks. So it was formed during the Cold War as an organization of states that did not seek to formally align themselves either with the United States or with the Soviet Union. So Soviet Union means Warsaw Pact. Now at present, how many countries are there? There are 120 member states. Now here comes the real catch. Yes. Now, why NAM is very, very important for India? These 120 countries are spread across all the continents in the world. Now, and India is the largest country in this. So India can easily emerge as a natural leader. So China is not a member here. China is just an observer country. China is just an observer country. So that means in most of the global organizations, India is dominated by China. Now here, India can take a lead and India can emerge as a natural leader. So now imagine if 100+ countries are actually following the leadership of India, the weight of India's words will be becoming more prominent in the global arena. So hence NAM becomes more important. Now, NAM does not have a permanent secretariat. This is another information which is important. Does not have a permanent secretariat or a formal founding charter, act, or treaty. This is also very important. So it does not have a permanent secretariat. So secretariat shift along with the chairmanship. So now a formal founding charter is also not there, act is not there, neither is a treaty. That's why it's a movement which can grow anytime. It has been seen as a movement. Anybody can join the movement. So summit usually takes place every 3 years. So here, so remember 3 years. That's why Uganda is now the chair of the organization till 2027. Now, so non-aligned movement, yes. So first of all, when this concept of non-alignment emerged, now we know there's a country in Europe that is called Switzerland. So Switzerland is not a part of European Union. Switzerland is completely independent country. It does not align with anyone. So now, so the concept of non-alignment emerged from the status of Switzerland first. Yes, the concept of not aligning a country's policy with others can be traced to the history, world history, Congress of Vienna, 1814 to 1815, when the neutrality of Switzerland, by which that country would keep out of others' conflict, was recognized. That means the origin of non-alignment with the other country's affairs, with the other country's issues, emerged initially from Congress of Vienna. And the first country to emerge as non-aligned country in the entire world was Switzerland. Now, but when we talk about a NAM in the context that is originated in 1961, it was a different story altogether. Now, the NAM we are talking about is the result of the Bendeng, or the Bendeng is a place in Indonesia, where there was in 1955 Asian African Conference. So that means the origination of NAM in 1961 was a result of 1955 Bendeng Conference, which brought what? 10 principles. So Bendeng, Asian African Conference. So the principles that would govern relations among large and small nations, known as the 10 principles of Bendeng, were proclaimed at the conference. So it gave rise to 10 principles of Bendeng. Just a minute. Okay, now. So a key role, again, the 5 major people, the heads of state we have discussed. Hence, the first conference, and 6 years later, after the Bending Conference, that is in 1961, was the formal coming of NAM, non-aligned movement. So first summit conference of Belgrade, that was held in 1961, gave rise to formally non-aligned movement, NAM. So 6 years after Bending. So the founders of NAM have preferred to declare it as a movement, but not an organization, in order to avoid what? Implications later. So it's a movement. Now, what are primary objectives? So primary objectives, we all know, first of all, it emerged due to what? The sufferings that all these countries, which were mostly under colonial powers, when they became independent, they want to ally with what? The countries who are still struggling to become independent. So they want to create a more equitable and peaceful world. They do not want to align themselves with the aspirations of the various two blocks. So they had got certain important objectives. So let's see those. First of all, the support of self-determination, national independence, and sovereignty and territorial integrity of all the countries. Opposition to apartheid. So where was apartheid as an official policy?
South Africa.
Good, South Africa. Yes, South Africa. Now, non-adherence to multilateral military pacts and independence of non-aligned countries from great power or bloc influences, that we will not be becoming or entering to multilateral military agreements with the major blocs. The struggle against imperialism in all forms and manifestations. So imperialism. The struggle, so imperialism, which was of now USA and USSR, the neo-imperialism we talk about. The struggle against colonialism, neo-colonialism, yes, racism, disarmament, non-interference in internal affairs. Now, the strengthening of United Nations. So, the United Nations is actually a global government, yes. So, unless we strengthen it, it will not be functioning like a global government. Democratization of international relations. socio-economic development. That means all those which are pro, yes, or positive for the world's development in a equally distributed manner. So it's promoted by NAM principles. So this is a brief history of NAM. Now, so that means 19th NAM summit. So Uganda is the chair. It will remain the chair till 2027. Now, first of all, the apology was there for the expulsion of Indians from the Uganda. And finally, when we talk about NAM, so 120 member countries and other are observer countries. China is an observer country. India is a member country, the largest member country. And origin is what? Bandung Conference of 1955. And finally, formally starting of NAM in 1961, Belgrade. So this is NAM. Now further. Now, so let's also discuss about Uganda as a country. Uganda as a country, because Uganda will be opening up various features of Africa. And each and every year there can be question on what Africa, which is now UPSC asking regularly. Okay, last year also there were also what a question on the lakes of Africa. So let's see now Uganda. Now when you see Uganda, so Uganda is surrounded with n number of water bodies that are lakes. Okay, so now Uganda is a landlocked country in East Africa. In East Africa. So the country, so how many countries are bordering? So towards the west, it is Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC. On the north is South Sudan, not Sudan, not simply Sudan. There are two Sudan, Sudan and South Sudan. So north is South Sudan. East is Kenya. South is Rwanda. South is Rwanda. So here, so north by South Sudan. Okay, this is north. Now, DRC is towards the west. Democratic Republic of Congo. Southwest by Rwanda. This is south part or southwest. And again, south by Tanzania. Yes, this country is also there. South is Tanzania. And Kenya. Kenya is towards the east. So here we are talking about 5 countries which are surrounding Uganda. Now, water bodies become important. We'll do a water bodies in the Great Lakes of Africa after this, Great Lakes of Africa. But still you see certain bigger lakes like Lake Victoria, you all know. Lake Victoria is the second largest freshwater lake in the world. Second largest freshwater lake in the world. Okay. Now, in terms of what volume of water. Now, when you talk about here, says Lake Albert and Lake Edward. We'll discussing all these lakes in more detail in a bigger picture. Now, Lake Victoria, why it is important? It is also one of the sources of the Nile River. So, Lake Victoria is one of the sources of the Nile River, and it is shared by Kenya and Tanzania. Kenya and Tanzania. So, what we are seeing, first of all, the 5 countries, Uganda. So, you should be knowing the location map, the bordering countries very well, and the water bodies from the top till bottom. We'll do the water bodies after this in Great Lakes of Africa. Now, Uganda is in where? African Great Lakes region, yes, lies within the Nile Basin. So it is in what? Great Lakes Basin of Africa. So what are Great Lakes of Africa? Which are those? Let's do them in detail. Now, Great Lakes. So Great Lakes starting from Lake Turkana. So you can see in your handout, yes, also Lake Turkana. Now, Lake Albert, Lake Edward, Lake Kivu, Lake Tanganyika, and Lake Malawi. And this is Lake Victoria. So these are the Great Lakes. So this is a Rift Valley. This is a Rift Valley of Africa, where the Africa is breaking. But these areas are filled with huge water bodies, which are big lakes. Okay. Now, so African Great Lakes are the series of lakes constituting the Rift Valleys. They include what? Lake Victoria. Where's Lake Victoria? This is the bigger one. Now, it's the second largest freshwater lake in the world by area. Okay. Now, Lake Tanganyika. So, Lake Tanganyika, the world's second largest freshwater lake by volume. So, very important, note, you should be knowing. So, which is the largest lake by volume, freshwater lake by volume?
Baikal.
Baikal is the largest what? Freshwater lake by volume. And which is the largest freshwater lake by area? by area is? Anyone?
The Lake Superior.
Lake Superior. So Lake Superior is by the area, and when you talk about the volume, it's what? Your Lake Baikal. Now, so hence the second largest lake, freshwater lake by area is, yes. So the second largest freshwater lake in the world by area is Lake Victoria in Africa. And when we talk about second largest freshwater lake by volume is Lake Tanganyika. Now, so collectively they contain water which is more than either Lake Baikal or the North American Great Lakes. So the volume of water in combination is definitely larger than the Lake Baikal and also larger than all the Great Lakes of America. Now, this is an area where the prominent language is Swahili. Swahili language is the most spoken language in African Great Lakes region. So let's see the table of lakes one by one. Now, so Lake Albert, yes. So where is Lake Albert? So Lake Albert is in the north. Yes, it is in Uganda. It's bordering Uganda and DRC. This is Lake Albert. So we should be knowing the bordering countries. So Lake Albert is shared by Uganda and DRC, Democratic Republic of Congo. There's one more lake which is again shared by Uganda and DRC. That is Lake Edward, which is just below the Lake Albert. So this is Lake Edward. Yes, this is this is Albert and this is Edward. So these two lakes are actually bordering what your Uganda and DRC. Further, Lake Kivu. So next comes Lake Kivu. So this is Kivu. So below Lake Edward is Kivu. So AEK, Albert, Edward, and Kivu. So Kivu is shared by Rwanda and DRC, Democratic Republic of Congo. Now Lake Malawi. So Lake Malawi is also known as Lake Nyasa. So again, it's shared by Malawi, Tanzania, and Mozambique. And there's a Lake Burundi. So again, so here when you talk about Burundi is below Rwanda. This is Rwanda and this is Burundi. These are two small countries, Rwanda and Burundi. Further, we talk about, so Burundi shared by Burundi, DRC, Tanzania, and Zambia. Yes, it will take a little time to locate, yes, and learn the bordering countries. So what you're supposed to do is, you're supposed to learn 2 lakes at a time. Yes, 2 lakes at a time. You're not supposed to try to mug up all the lakes at one go. Yes, so 2 lakes at a time. So Lake Turkana, this is interesting. Lake Turkana, it is where in Kenya and bordering Ethiopia. So why this lake is important? Is the largest permanent desert and alkaline lake. So it is in a desert area. It's a salty or alkaline lake, but it's never dries up. Yes, it never dries up. It's the world's largest permanent desert and alkaline lake, shared by Kenya and Ethiopia, Lake Turkana. And Lake Victoria shared by Uganda, Kenya, and Tanzania. So these are the Great Lakes of Africa. So Great Lakes of Africa, the map you should be knowing the location, from north to south, which are the lakes. So you should be knowing. So hence Turkana is at the top. Yes. Then we talk about Albert, Edwards. Yes. Then we talk about Kivu, Tanganyika. Okay. In the middle is Lake Victoria, and then comes what? Lake Malawi. Yes? So this is a serial order. This is serial order. So can we do the serial order? So Turkana is first. Can you tell me the next? The sequence?
Albert,
Albert comes second, yes.
Edward,
Then
Kivu,
third. Then this is fourth, Kivu.
Kivu, yes.
Okay. Then it's Malawi or Burundi, Lake Burundi.
Malawi,
Malawi, fifth. Then
Tanganyika,
Lake Victoria. Okay, here I have not included what Tanganyika. Yes, Tanganyika. Lake Victoria is somewhere in middle. Yes, clear. So you should be knowing the serial order. Then once you know the serial order, you'll be able to arrange them. And again, the bordering countries. So and definitely there are chances of question being asked by UPSC on such lakes. Yes, Akash.
Sir, I'm not getting this, sir. Burundi, sir.
Okay, Burundi. So Burundi is a small country. Yes. Burundi is a small country. Yes. So there may be small lake. I will be searching for it. Yes. It's somewhere here itself. Or maybe, sorry, I may have mistyped it. It would have been what? Lake Tanganyika, sorry. Shared by Burundi, DRC, Tanzania, Zambia. This is Burundi. Okay, DRC, Tanzania, and Zambia, sorry. So this is a mistake of printing. So please, this is not Burundi, this is Tanganyika. So please correct it on your handouts also, Tanganyika. It's not Burundi.
So, sir, can you repeat the order again, sir?
So let's do the order again. So can you tell me the order? First is Turkana.
Yes, sir. Then Albert.
Second is Albert. Third is Edward. Fourth is your Kivu. Fifth is Malawi or Tanganyika. Tell me.
Tanganyika.
Tanganyika comes first or Malawi comes first?
Some Malawi.
Malawi comes. Malawi is lower down. Yes.
Malawi.
Malawi is lower down.
Okay.
So Tanganyika can be fifth. Yeah.
Fifth
Malawi is sixth. Tanganyika can be fifth.
Yes.
Clear. And Lake Victoria is little different from the sequence because
It's in middle.
It's somewhere in the middle. Yes, somewhere in the middle.
Yes.
Okay, so serial order. So just remember serial order, and yes, bordering countries. Definitely there will be a question because last 2-3 years, Africa is the focus area of UPSC lakes. Now, so after doing the NAM summit, we came across a country called Uganda, the bordering countries, and even the Great Lakes, the water bodies. Now, let's talk about another summit that is called Global South Summit. Now, Global South Summit. So what is the Global South? So Global South are again what? Developing countries or lesser developed countries. So the summit of what? Developing and lesser developed countries. And this was a follow-up of the G20 meeting in India. So India concluded second Voice of Global South Summit. So it was after G20 meeting. We'll do G20 meeting separately because it has got detailed information. Now, what is the Global South? So Global South is not, first of all, remember, it's not purely a geographical concept. It's not purely a geographical concept. So first of all, it is comprising of the countries which are developing and less developed. For example, many countries, including Global South, are in Northern Hemisphere. Even India and China are also in Northern, yes. And also, Northern half of Africa also in what? The Northern Hemisphere. So though they are termed as Global South, why they are termed as Global South? Because a South term has been related initially with what? The countries which are less developed, And but when you see the Southern Hemisphere, there are two countries like Australia and New Zealand. They are rich countries. They are in Southern Hemisphere, but they are not the part of Global South. Very clear? So Global South is not geographically related. Global South is a collection of countries which are less developed or developing. So it even includes India and China, which are lying in what? Northern Hemisphere. And when we talk about Australia and New Zealand, the developed countries of South, they are not the part of Global South. So now, how this term emerged concept? The concept of Global South can be traced back to Brand Report of 1980s, which proposed division between North and South countries based on technical advancement, GDP, and standard of living. So Brand Report of 1980 is linked with which of the following? Yes, summits or organizations, that is Global South. So not a geographical concept. Origin is Brand Report of 1980, comprising of countries which are lesser developed or developing. Now, what are the key highlights of this second summit? So again, there were two themes. Yes, the inaugural session, the theme was Together for Everyone, Growth with Everyone's Trust. That was the inaugural theme. Now, what was the concluding theme? The Global South, Together for One Future. Together for One Future. Very clear? So themes are very important because themes can be put as statement. Now, so there were two themes linked with Global South what summit? Yes, two themes, inaugural and the concluding. Now, the objectives. So disseminating outcomes of the G20 summit hosted by India. Well, this was the major what objective. Now, the key outcomes. So Global South Center of Excellence, that is Dakshin, was created. Dakshin is South. So Center of Excellence. So India inaugurated this initiative aimed at fostering collaboration among developing nations by serving a knowledge repository. Yes. So knowledge repository and exchange. There are also thematic discussions. This usually happens in all the summits. For example, finance or global issues, when you talk about environment, these are things happen every time in all the summits. Next is call for restraint amid Israel-Hamas conflict. And what are the 5 C's of Global South? The 5 C's of Global South are, yes, what we see, consultation is the first C, cooperation, communication, creativity, and capacity building. So 5C is related with what? That is Global South. So Global South is connected with what? 5 C's. Very clear? Global South. Now, there's one more conference that is that was in news. That was Asian Buddhist Conference for Peace. Asian Buddhist Conference for Peace. So what is that? It is a voluntary mass movement of Buddhists in Asia. And again, it was convened when we are in New Delhi, 12th General Assembly in New Delhi. And the theme was the Buddhist voice of Global South. So again, it's a part of the Global South. So Asian Buddhist Conference for Peace, again, it was conducted in New Delhi. It's a part of the Global South, so Buddhist voice. So the Buddhist voice within the Global South. So reflects India's commitment. Now, how it originated and when it originated? Founded in 1970 in the Ulaanbaatar, which is the capital of Mongolia. So it's a voluntary movement. Yes, it's not an official, it's not a government-led. It's a voluntary movement of followers of Buddhism with both monastic monks and lay members. And it has got the collaborative efforts of Buddhist dignitaries from various the Buddhist influenced countries like India, Mongolia, Japan, Malaysia, Nepal, the then USSR, Vietnam, Sri Lanka, South and North Korea. Now, where the headquarters? It's in a monastery in Ulaanbaatar. So it's Ganden Tenchenling, yes, monastery in Ulaanbaatar. And who is the supreme head? The supreme head of the Mongolian Buddhist is the current ABCP president. So Asian Buddhist Conference for Peace was also held during what G20 summit, which was also conducting Global South Summit. As a part of that, it's again a voluntary organization of the Buddhist members representing different countries influenced by Buddhism. Now, the Buddhist voice of Global South was a theme. So bringing together efforts of Buddhists in support of consolidating universal peace, harmony. We know Buddhism is related with universal peace and harmony. There's a message of the Buddha initially, we all know. Furthering their economic and social advancement and promoting justice. So here, I hope you are able to now recall what NAM easily. Okay, what happened with NAM and what happened with NAM. Global South Summit, now Buddhist Conference, yes, for Peace, which was a part of the Global South Summit. And the Great Lakes region location. So locations will be coming in between, linked with the current news. Now comes the third South Summit. Now this is different. Do not confuse. So Global South is different. Is different from South Summit. So these two are different. Yes. So Global South is different and South Summit is different. South Summit is linked with G77. South Summit is linked with G77. Now again, Uganda coming to news. The third South Summit was held in Kampala, Uganda. So bringing together members of G77 and China. Okay, so what is the third South Summit? Brought together how many countries? 134 member countries, a group of 77. So how many members are there in G77? 134. Initially, when G77 came into picture, there were 77 member countries. Over a period of time, the number of member countries increased to 134. And China, to boost South-South cooperation on trade, investment, sustainable development, climate change, poverty, economy, digital economy, and all these. Now, theme of the summit again, very important. Note, leaving no one behind. Leaving no one behind. That is third South Summit. So first of all, Global South and South Summit are completely different. Global South is generally a association of developing countries, lesser developed countries, and the South Summit here is directly connected with G77 in China. Now, South Summit, what is South Summit now? South Summit is the supreme decision-making body of the G77. Supreme decision-making body of the G77. Now, what is G77 now when it ultimately came into being? So a little background of G77. G77 was established in what? 1964 by signatories of the joint declaration of the 77 developing countries. 77 developing countries, hence the name was G77. But now the member countries are 134. Now, at the end of the first session of what United Nations Conference on Trade and Development in Geneva, UNCTAD. In Geneva. Now, when you talk about these organizations, now when you talk about the organization like UNCTAD, now you need to read further about these organizations, UNCTAD, all the UN related organizations. I will tell you the source a little later. Yes, all those organization basics should also be known by you. Further, now 134 members excluding China. Again, this is very important. That's why it is termed as G77 and China. G77. So South Summit is G77 and China. So the G77 has 134 member countries excluding China. Because Chinese government does not consider itself as a member, but rather a partner. So rather partner which is supposed to provide what? Political and financial support to the G77 countries. Although the G77 mentions China as its members informally. But actually it's not the part of G77, it's a partner country to G77. Now what is G77 now? When the statement comes, this statement becomes important, is the largest intergovernmental organization of developing countries. Largest intergovernmental organization of developing countries in the world. Okay. So largest. Because when you talk about NAM has got 120 countries. Okay, here, when you talk about G77, 134 countries. So it provides the means for the countries of South to articulate and promote their collective economic interest, enhance their joint negotiating capacity on all major international issues within the UN system. So what we found out when we talk about South Summit is the highest decision-making body of G77. When you talk about G77, G77 means 134 countries plus China as partner country. China is partner country. Okay, so here, so this is a brief story about G77. Now the structure, chairman, who acts as a spokesman, coordinates the group's actions in each chapter. Now, what is the meaning of chapter here? So when we read this line, a chairman who acts as a spokesperson coordinates the group actions in each chapter. Now, I will be talking about the chapter a little later. First of all, who becomes the chairman? The chairman ultimately on the basis of rotation on regional basis. So chairmanship is the highest political body and it is on the basis of rotational regional basis. So how many regions here? Africa is a region. So Africa denotes Africa chapter. So region, meaning of region is chapter. Again, I am reminding you, meaning of region is chapter here. So Africa chapter, Asia Pacific chapter, Latin America chapter, Caribbean chapter, and is held for 1 year in all the chapters. Now, hence, chapters refer to the regional divisions. So currently, Uganda is the chairperson. And hence, it acts as a spokesperson and coordinates the actions of G77 on behalf of the member countries within the African chapter. Now, chapters in G77 are the offices of the group in different locations. So, chapters, different locations. So within African chapter, there will be an office. Okay. Similarly, Caribbean, there will be offices. So they represent a particular area. Chapters represent a particular region. So for the year, Republic of Uganda holds the chairmanship of G77. Now, when were the first two summits happened? This was the third one. What we are seeing a huge gap between the summits here. The first and second summits were held in first was in Havana, Cuba. So Cuba means Caribbean. So Cuba means Caribbean, Havana, 2000, and in Doha, that is Asia, Qatar in 2005. That means first was in 2000, then 5 years later, 2005, the second summit. Now the third summit in what? Almost after what? 18, 19 years. So there's a huge gap. Yes. So first of all, South Summit and Global South are completely different. South Summit is linked with G77. G77 is 134 countries plus China as a partner country. Origin in 1964. Now, the chairmanship is rotation basis on the basis of regions. Regions are termed as chapters. So in which of the following organizations, okay, the chapters are equated with regions. So it will be G77. Very clear? So G77 now. Now let us talk about an interesting area, which is the region of huge number of military coups recently. So military coups recently, and it was regularly in news, and that region is Sahel region in what? Africa, Sahel. Now Sahel region in Africa. Now this is a Sahel region, almost what horizontal strip, yes, running from Senegal to till what? Eritrea. The horizontal, this Sahel region. Now, what about Sahel region? It's a transition region between the northern Sahara and the southern part of Savannah, Sahara and Savannah. So here it is Sahara. This is your Sahel region, and here that will be savannas. This is the transition area. Now, this area is now what negatively known for its military coups. Now, all the countries like Mali, Niger, they had got a military coup. So let's see, first of all, the Sahel region. It's a horizontal line, transition line between Sahara and the Savannah. Now, Sahel is an Arabic word, Sahel. It's a semi-arid region of Western and Northern Central Africa, extending from Senegal to Sudan. So what is that? It's a transitional zone between the arid Sahara Desert in the north and the belt of humid savanna to the south. Now, the Sahel stretches from the Atlantic Ocean, from the Senegal, all these countries. Now, recently, the countries which are highlighted like Mali, Niger, Chad, Sudan, all these were ultimately having what? Military coups recently, military coups. So, and the Sahel region is now notorious for its military coups. Now, coup has become a pattern in Sahel. Now, the Sahel region is made up of what? French-speaking countries. So, they were under French colonial rules. French colonial, Francophone countries. Now, Burkina, Chad, Mali, Mauritania, Niger, and Senegal. All these had what? These are Francophone countries, Senegal major countries, sorry, Sahel major countries, and they witnessed what? Military coups. So after independence from the French, these countries have faced long periods of political instability, economic and ethnic strife, violence over control of natural resources, and adverse impact of climate change. So they are very poor countries. They are very poor on HDI. Now they are sub-Saharan, yes, so they are very poor countries in terms of the context of the development indicators. Hence, this has led to weak governments, which are usually overthrown by powerful military, weak governments. Okay. Now, for example, the coup in Niger. Niger is a vast arid country in West Africa. So, Niger, if you see, this is Niger, this is a huge country. Just above Nigeria, yes, north of Nigeria is Niger. North of Nigeria is Niger. Largely agrarian, one of the poorest countries in the world, low HDI. But now What they are fighting for? Control of resources. So gold mining reserves are there. Uranium, very important, is there. So finally, what happens if the government is weak? Either the militias, okay, or the rebels take over the mines, or to prevent the mines being taken over, the military ultimately coups against the weak government, take over the control. So that means it creates instability. So now, so hence what happened? So West African countries or the Sahel countries, they were the part of ECOWAS, an organization which is supposed to promote stability in Western Africa. But what has happened after the coming of the military dictators or the military coups in these countries? Some of the countries have withdrawn from this organization, ECOWAS. So again, ECOWAS was in news because the countries who are now under military rule withdrew from ECOWAS. So what is ECOWAS now? The military regimes in Burkina, Mali, and Niger announced their immediate withdrawal from the West African bloc, that is Economic Community of West African States. ECOWAS is Economic Community of West African States. So ECOWAS is a regional grouping aimed to promote economic integration and shared development of the West African sub-region. Now it was established in 1975 by 15 West African countries, where in Lagos, Nigeria. Founding members, all these founding members are usually belonging to the Sahel region. So again, you have to see the sequence of countries. Okay. So sequence of, especially those countries which are under military group. So just focus on Burkina, Mali, and Niger, and see their adjoining countries, because these were the three countries currently in news due to military coups. Just focus. Otherwise, there are many countries, you will be confused. So just focus on three major countries, Burkina, Mali, and Niger, and see their what neighboring countries. Now, headquarters is now Abuja, Nigeria. Earlier, the capital of Nigeria was Lagos. Now it shifted to Abuja. So Abuja is now the current capital of Nigeria, Abuja. So ECOWAS was established as a free trade area in 1990. And it's got a common external tariff, yes, which started from 2015. So now, what is the purpose of ECOWAS now? The purpose of ECOWAS was to bring stability in West African countries and the countries in Sahel region, because they are poor countries and they were what huge political instability. So hence they have taken a collective ownership to bring peace and stability. But what has happened with the coming of what military coups in certain countries? They have withdrawn from ECOWAS. Very clear? So ECOWAS now. Now, what is the India's connection with ECOWAS? So India has a long-standing relationship with ECOWAS, and India was given the status of observer country in 2004. In 2006, India gave the grouping. So India started to offer what? Credit or loans, line of credit. And ECOWAS has also supported India's desire for permanent seat in UN Security Council. So this is the connection of India with the ECOWAS. Clear? So ECOWAS is a supporting grouping or supporting grouping for India with respect to India's desire to have a permanent seat in UN Security Council. All those information, I hope with one revision or maximum about 2 revision, you'll be able to remember all these. Further, Schengen zone, yes. So Schengen you may be knowing, very many of you may be knowing Schengen. So that means visa-free travel across what 25 plus countries in Europe, yes. So where you can cross the borders, okay, you can work anywhere, you can live anywhere, yes. There are no what border checks and controls. Just one Schengen visa, you can travel more than 25 countries. Now, which is the new country to enter here? So what was the news? Kosovo. So Kosovo has secured visa-free access to Schengen zone. So Schengen zone is the world's largest area of free movement. Free movement. Now, let's see the Schengen zone map here. So dark blue countries are those which are in the Schengen zone and also the part of European Union. So dark blue are also the part of European Union. Now, there are also certain non-European Union country. We know Switzerland. Switzerland is not aligning with anyone. It's also not a part of European Union, but it is a part of Schengen zone, Switzerland. So Switzerland is a non-EU country. Non-EU country is Switzerland, which is a part of what? Schengen area. Now, further, what is a non-EU country which is also part of Schengen area is Iceland. So Iceland here at the top. So Iceland is also a non-EU country, but a part of Schengen area. Now, another country which is a non-EU country, but a part of a Schengen area is Norway. So add on Switzerland, Iceland, Norway. Switzerland, Iceland, Norway. These are what? Non-EU countries, but part of Schengen area. Very clear? Very clear? Part of Schengen area. Now, there are certain EU countries, there are certain EU countries, but now outside Schengen area. So which are the EU countries which are outside the Schengen area? Ireland,
UK,
UK, then
Bulgaria,
Bulgaria, Romania,
Romania,
and
Cyprus,
Croatia. This is
Croatia,
Croatia.
sorry.
Croatia. Okay. Okay, now. So about Schengen zone. So Schengen zone, first of all, visa. Now, which is the latest we are talking about? Kosovo to enter. So Kosovo is where? Kosovo is near Serbia. It's a part of what earlier Yugoslavia. Okay. Now we'll talk about Kosovo in little more detail. Now, so what is the Schengen Agreement? What is the background? The Schengen Agreement is a treaty which was signed in 1985. Which were the initial 5 countries? Initial 5 countries: Belgium, France, Germany, Luxembourg, and Netherlands. Okay, Netherlands. Now, where they are, when we see in the map, they are connected countries. Let's see that. So this is France. This is Belgium. This is Luxembourg. This is Germany, and this is Netherlands. All these are 5 connected countries. 5 connected countries. So France and Germany are bordering countries. Luxembourg again is lying between France and Germany. Belgium and Netherlands. These were the initial 5 countries which became the part of Schengen area, 1985. So the agreement aims to create a border-free area in Europe that allows free movement of people, goods and services. That means free movement of people, transportation, goods movement, services, residence, work, everything is free. Yes, free movement. For example, we always equate European Union with Indian Union. So Indian Union is a union of linguistic states. European Union is a union linguistic countries. So though they are countries with their respective borders, but they have made those borders porous for the movement. So it means EU is now emerging like an Indian Union. Is no more like a what linguistic countries, it's more like a linguistic states now. Okay, where's the free movement? Further, all EU member states without opt-outs must join Schengen upon meeting technical requirements. So those who are even joining late as EU member, after meeting certain standards, they have to join what? Schengen area. They have to join Schengen area. Now, non-EU countries, yes, I missed one small country. So we have identified Switzerland is non-EU country, but Schengen country. Norway is a non-EU country, but Schengen country. Iceland, there's one more small country, Liechtenstein. Liechtenstein. So there are 4 non-EU countries, but a part of Schengen. Switzerland, Liechtenstein, Norway, Iceland. I hope you will able to remember these 4. Yes, Switzerland, Norway, Iceland, and Liechtenstein. And who are the initial 5? Which were the initial 5? France, Germany, Luxembourg, Belgium, Netherlands. 5 initial. Now, benefits of Schengen. Yes. So first of all, seamless travel. People can travel. Okay. tourism, cultural exchange, economic prosperity, cooperation across all types of what controls, management, visa-free travel, symbolizes European values of unity and solidarity. Now, so let us talk about Kosovo more now. So Kosovo has now become our location of discussion. So when we talk about Kosovo, Kosovo is a little disputed area because it has declared itself independent. Many countries recognize its independence, but it has declared its independence from Serbia. But Serbia does not recognize its independence. Okay, so let's see. So when we talk about Kosovo, so this is Serbia, this is Kosovo. So Serbia considers its part. Okay. So Kosovo is a self-declared independent country. Self-declared independent country in Balkan region of Europe. This is the Balkan region. So where there are Balkan mountains, but the term Balkans has been used negatively also. So what is the connotation of the word Balkanization? Balkanization means what?
Splitting up of
Huh.
states. Yeah.
Your voice is not coming.
Splitting up of states.
Splitting our countries into smaller countries. Yes. Okay. Breaking of the countries into smaller countries on the basis of ethnicity. Yes. That is what the Balkanization. This is the Balkan area. Now, although the United States and most members of European Union recognized Kosovo's declaration of independence from Serbia, so that means major countries of Europe as well as United States have recognized the independence of Kosovo in 2008. But Serbia, Russia, and others, also certain members of EU still do not recognize. Now, given this lack of international consensus where certain countries are recognized and certain countries have not recognized, Kosovo was not immediately admitted to the United Nations. But a correction was done. Finally, a step was taken in 2010. The International Court of Justice. So International Court of Justice, you may be knowing, is one of the 6 organs of United Nations. ICJ, you must be knowing. International Court of Justice, one of the 6 organs of United Nations. I will be showing all these tomorrow, just do not worry. From where you are going to add on these type of information about something on International Court of Justice, I will be showing you the perfect location from where to pick up. Okay. Now, in 2010, the International Court of Justice ruled that Kosovo's declaration of independence did not violate international law. This means ICJ has recognized or given recognition that Kosovo is an independent country. But Serbia still rejected the decision. Okay. So what is Kosovo? It's a landlocked country. Kosovo is bordered by Serbia at the top. Serbia is coming at the top. Macedonia, this is Macedonia. Macedonia. Albania, the Albania is visible clearly. And Montenegro, this is Montenegro. So again, the 4 borders. So Serbia, the 2 M's are North Macedonia and Montenegro, and 1 A, Albania. So where it is? In Balkans. So Kosovo, yes, Kosovo is the smallest country in the Balkans. So another thing to note is Kosovo is the smallest country in the Balkans.
Sir, what is the status of India? It has recognized it or not?
India has recognized it. Yes. Now, Balkans. Now, when we talk about Balkans, let's see the location of Balkans. Let's do this in detail. Now, when we talk about Balkans now. So even what few years back, there was a question of, for example, this was the erstwhile Yugoslavia, starting from what? Slovenia, Croatia, Bosnia, Herzegovina, Serbia, Montenegro, Kosovo, Albania. Yes, all these are part of erstwhile Yugoslavia. So there was a question in UPSC Prelims examination, arrange the following countries from east to west. Arrange the following countries from east to west. So unless you are not knowing the exact locations from east to west, north to south, west to east, it's difficult to answer such questions. So hence this becomes important. This becomes important now. So now, so Croatia, so it's basically what comes? Slovenia is a part of Balkans. Croatia is a part of Balkans. Bosnia is a part of Balkans. Serbia, Romania, Bulgaria, Kosovo, we have talking about Montenegro, Macedonia, Albania. So what we are seeing? So where is Albania? Albania is here in the southern part of the Adriatic Sea. There are various seas also. Adriatic, Tyrrhenian Sea, Ionian Sea, Aegean Sea. Yes, so seas also become important. And which is this one? The name is not written. Which is this sea? The name is not written. Can you make a guess?
Black Sea.
Black Sea. Yes, good. This is a Black Sea. This is a Black Sea. So that means this is an area not only comprising of many countries, but also comprising of various seas. So hence this area becomes very important. So Adriatic, Ionian, Tyrrhenian, Aegean, and what? Black Sea. So Balkans are bordered by, so generally, so Balkans are bordered by, yes, Italy. So this is the bordering country of Balkans. Hungary, this is Hungary. Hungary is basically bordering country of Balkans. Ukraine, yes, when you talk about Black Sea, so hence comes Ukraine there. Greece, and yes, Turkey. Greece and Turkey. So these are the bordering countries. So bordering countries of Balkans, which are not considered part of Balkans, are Italy is outside Balkans, Hungary is outside Balkans, Ukraine is outside Balkans, Greece and Turkey are outside Balkans. Very clear? This is outside Balkans.
Can you repeat this again, sir?
Should I repeat?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So when we talk about okay, let's do one thing. Let's erase it again. So what we are doing, first of all, which are the part of Balkans? Let's start with the southern part. Let's start with A, Albania. So Albania is a part of Balkans. Macedonia, Bulgaria, Bulgaria, okay. Romania is a part of Balkans. Serbia, definitely. Kosovo is the smallest country we have just read. Smallest country in what? Balkan region. Montenegro, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Croatia, and Slovenia. These are the part of Balkans. So how many countries? Slovenia 1, Croatia 2, Bosnia 3, Montenegro 4, Albania 5, Macedonia 6, Kosovo 7, Serbia 8, Romania 9, and Bulgaria 10. Around 10 countries. So now which countries are outside? The countries which are outside are, so Italy is outside. So Italy is outside, so a different color. Greece is outside, a different color. Turkey outside. Hungary outside. Okay, so these are outside. Yes, so these all are outside. So Ukraine also, yes. So Ukraine, which is bordering Romania, is outside. Very clear now?
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, India recognizes Kosovo, sir.
Pardon?
India recognizes Kosovo as.
So I will clarify once more. Okay, I will let you know. Okay. So in my initial understanding India would have, because India is mostly partnering with European countries and the US statement. So let's see, it may be, let me correct, let me check from the sources again. Yes. Yeah, I will be giving the answer tomorrow in case if I'm wrong. Yes. So now the seas, let's do the seas also. Yes. There are various seas here. Okay, now, so Aegean Sea, yes. So where is the Aegean Sea? So which are the bordering countries here? So Turkey and Greece. So let's see again the map. So Turkey and Greece. So Aegean Sea, this is Aegean Sea. And which are the countries here? Greece and Turkey. Okay, so Aegean Sea lies between Turkey and Greece. Now let's see the Adriatic Sea. So Adriatic Sea means it has got a long shoreline of various countries. So now Adriatic Sea. So let's see now there are various countries here. Various countries. So Adriatic Sea, this is the entire what coastline of Adriatic Sea. That means Slovenia is also there, Croatia is also there, Bosnia is also there, Montenegro, Albania, and also Italy. Yes, and also Italy, Adriatic. So that means it is comprising of various countries. So Albania, Bosnia, Herzegovina, Croatia, Italy, Montenegro, and Slovenia. Yes, the entire what it's a long what stretch which is ultimately moving towards the Italian peninsula. So hence touching various countries in the Balkans. Now Ionian Sea. Now where is Ionian Sea? Albania, Greece, and Italy. Let's see Albania, Greece, and Italy. Albania, Greece, and Italy. So Ionian Sea. So we are finding Italy here, Greece here, and Albania here. So that means Adriatic Sea is above the Ionian Sea. Ionian Sea. So our Ionian Sea is below the Adriatic Sea. Very clear? Now, what is the remaining sea now? Tyrrhenian Sea. So Tyrrhenian Sea is between Italy and France. So now you're touching France, but not the France mainland we are talking about. It is touching the island of Corsica. Yes, island of Corsica. Okay. So, but here when we talk about the Tyrrhenian Sea, it is between France and Turkey. So sorry, France and Italy. Sorry, France and Italy. So let's do again. So when we see the Ionian Sea, three countries are there: Greece, Albania, and Italy. Ionian Sea. Above the Adriatic Sea, many countries. So that means you should be knowing immediately Adriatic Sea means many countries. Slovenia, Croatia, Bosnia, Montenegro, Albania, and Italy. Aegean Sea, again two countries, only Greece and Turkey. And when we talk about the Tyrrhenian Sea, again two countries, Italy and France. Now we will do a Black Sea later, because Black Sea again got various ports and various countries. Now, the word Balkan is Turkish and means mountain. So what is the meaning of Balkan means mountain? And the peninsula is certainly dominated by this type of landform. So hence there are certain mountains. So important mountains to note here are, let's see, important mountains, the Balkan mountains. So lie east-west across Bulgaria. So again, east-west across Bulgaria. Let's see Bulgaria again. Where is Bulgaria? This is Bulgaria touching the Mediterranean Sea. So here somewhere is the Balkan mountains. Balkan mountains in Bulgaria. Now, let's talk about Rhodope mountains. Yes, Rhodope mountains. It is on Greek-Bulgarian border. So Greek-Bulgarian border. Let's see again. So this is Bulgaria and this is Greece. This is Bulgaria and this is Greece. So here Rhodope mountains. So Rhodope mountains can be below Balkan mountains. Okay, so Rhodope mountains can be below Balkan mountains. So here, so above are the Balkan mountains, which are mostly lying in Bulgaria, and the mountains which form the border between Greece and Bulgaria are the Rhodope mountains. Now comes the Dinaric Alps. Okay, so Dinaric range. So Dinaric range across the entire Adriatic coast of Albania. So Adriatic coast till Albania, sorry. So Dinaric Alps are, so Dinaric mountain ranges are from what? Entire Adriatic coast, starting from the Croatia, crossing Bosnia and reaching till Albania. Yes, these are the Dinaric mountains. The entire Adriatic coast. The entire Adriatic coast. So crossing the Adriatic coast and ending up in Albania. Clear? So these are the so three major mountains: the Balkan mountains in Bulgaria, Rhodope mountains, the boundary between Greece and Bulgaria, and we are talking about Dinaric mountains, which are across the Adriatic coast towards the Balkans.
Sir, I read somewhere, like sometimes back, that India has not formally recognized the Kosovo and is not
Okay,
having the formal
okay.
relations.
Okay. Okay, just refer the source. I will also clarify. Yes.
Like I read in one of the current affairs like magazine that like they mentioned that India is not having the formal relations with the Kosovo.
Okay, okay. I will also clarify. Just okay. Thank you for keeping me informed.
Yes,
And
thank you.
I will speak on it tomorrow. Yes, clear?
Okay, sir.
Okay, so I hope these mountains and the seas are very clear. And what is the composition of the Balkan countries and which are the non-Balkan countries? I hope very clear. Okay, now this was a report which came about the SDG goals achievement of the Asia Pacific region. Now this is a report. So Asia and Pacific SDG progress report. Now this was released by UNESCAP, yes, United Nations Economic and Social Commission for Asia and Pacific. So one of the UN organs, one of the 6 US organs is United Nations Economic and Social Council. So one of the organs of UN is United Nations Economic and Social Council. So what is UNESCAP? UNESCAP is one of the 5 regions which are coming under this. Yes. 5 regions which are coming under this. So United Nations Economic and Social Council is global. Within this global comes the Asia Pacific part, which is one of the 5 parts within this. So United Nations Economic and Social Commission for Asia and Pacific. So the Asia and Pacific SDG report is one of the annual flagship publications of the United Nations ESCAP. So it comes annually. First of all, it comes annually. So it provides an overview of SDG progress. Now it draws out the priorities. So which major SDG indicators the countries are lagging behind, how much to focus and how to focus. Yes. So it should be SDG indicators. Now what are the key highlights of the report? So first of all, at current pace, what are the pace of development, what are the pace of what SDG achievement progress that the countries have made? The region will not achieve SDG goals till 2062. But when I talk about SDG goals are to be achieved by 2030. That means this region is far behind. That means behind by at least 32 years. So hence 32 years is the lag time. So hence so that means the region is running very late by 32 years. Further, by 2030, the region is projected to achieve only 1/3 of the required progress. So this can easily become the statement. 1/3 of the required progress. UPSC can put half of the progress, but here 1/3. Now, for example, progress on SDG goal 13, that is climate action, which is critically very behind. Now, even when you talk about women and girls development behind. Now, when you talk about India's progress on the SDG, as per the report, as per the UN ESCAP report. So India positions improved by 6 points, that is from 60 to 66 in 2020-21. India's progress report. Now, notable achievements, we have made certain improvement in goal number 6, clean water and sanitation. Affordable and clean energy are the areas where the major improvements have been seen, which has improved the India's ranking in this, or the ranking points in this. So UNESCO, first of all, comes within one of the UN organs, United Nations Economic and Social Council. UNESCO for the Asia Pacific is one of the 5 regions within United Nations Economic and Social Council. It is publishing the report on SDG progress. So the region is lagging behind by 32 years and will be achieving only 1/3 of the goals by 2030. And India has shown improvement, yes, in this.
Sir, sir, what can be inferred from these 66 points India has achieved?
So this is the pointer. See, pointers are the gradings, they may be, this is internal progress, yes. So they have not properly defined, yes. So I searched a lot, but they have not mentioned which are the parameters which is actually accumulating to these points.
So, sir, when we are saying that 1/3.
But what is the thing? Now, for example, if the question comes in UPSC that if India has, so which are the goals that India has made progress more? That is goal number 6 and goal number 7. Okay. So, for example, with reference to the report, India has improved on goal number 5 or goal number 13, That would have been wrong. That only these two things which are important for you to remember. Just complete your query. Complete your query.
Can we say that India has achieved half of its progress in SDG?
So when we talk about the entire region is also almost reaching only 1/3 of the goals by 2030. Okay. So we cannot say 60, we cannot equate that 120 is the limit. Yes, we cannot say. Okay, because we have not seen the entire range of what rating points. Okay. But what you should be remembering, which are the areas India has improved? Goal number 6 and goal number 7. Okay, now, so next is India and Oman. Yes, so India is Oman. So let's talk about certain bilateral issues also. So India and Oman have adopted what? India-Oman Joint Vision Partnership. So this is a bilateral relations we are talking about now. So with Oman, Joint Vision Partnership. Now what comes within that? So yes, cooperation, connectivity, and everything, energy, space, digital, payments, health, tourism. Now, within this bilateral agreement, the important thing that you note here is the establishment of the Hindi chair of the ICCR in Oman. Yes. That means in one of the universities in Oman, the Hindi chair, that means a Hindi what department has been created. Hindi department has been created in Oman. Now, next is SEPA. SEPA is, we know, one of the free trade agreement, comprehensive economic partnership agreement, one of free trade. So India and so both are in the verge of finalization of SEPA. So SEPA is one of the free trade agreement for both goods and services, investments. SEPA is under discussion. And also Oman India Investment Fund. Now, the two sides announced the third tranche, means the third volume of Oman India investment for channelizing investment into growing sectors of Indian economy. So it's a fund, yes, contributed also by India and also by Oman for investing in what India fast growing sectors. The fund was started as a 50-50 joint venture between State Bank of India and the Oman Investment Authority. Okay, so Oman India Investment Fund. Now, similarly, so Oman, so let's discuss about location of Oman also. Okay, so Oman is where in Arabian Peninsula. So Arabian Peninsula, so Oman is the southeastern coast of Arabian Peninsula at the confluence of the Persian Gulf and Arabian Sea. And it is also comprising of a huge desert area, yes, which is also known as Rab-e-Khali, yes, the waterless area, Oman. So now let's see the map. Yes, let's see the map. Now this is the map now. Let's see the map. Now again, there are various important locations to focus on. Now, you must have heard about this port. Let's see. You must have heard about this port, DUQM. Now this port was in news, DUQM port, important, strategic importance for India. So just see, the DUQM port is where? In Oman. Is of strategic importance for India. Now, further, when we talk about the location of Oman, let's see. So Saudi Arabia is a bordering country. Saudi Arabia is a bordering country. UAE is a bordering country. United Arab Emirates. And Yemen is a bordering country. So three bordering countries. So here what we are seeing is so United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, Yemen. And here comes the Arabian Sea, Gulf of Oman, Strait of Hormuz, again very important with respect to what passage of what ship traffic, Strait of Hormuz, which is connecting Persian Gulf and Gulf of Oman. So Strait of Hormuz is connecting Persian Gulf and Gulf of Oman. Okay, and what is the desert? Rab-e-Khali, the great South Arabian desert, which is majorly in Saudi Arabia, but also stretching to Oman. So Rab-e-Khali. Now, so Gulf of Strait of Hormuz. Now, also you should be noticing this small thing not usually coming in terms of information, but here Gulf of Masira. Many times, see, certain difficult locations also being put by UPSC, then we think from where they are coming. So hence, if we have got a deeper reading of the maps and locations, definitely, if we are not able to answer directly, we can eliminate the options in a manner so that we can reach the answers also. Okay, so Gulf of Masira. So again, if various Gulfs been mentioned, Gulf of Masira will be one of the options. If you remember, this is besides Oman, and when that is asking something around Indonesia, so you can easily eliminate Gulf of Masira. So that's why many options can be also be eliminated or by knowing the locations. Now, so when I talk about Oman, there's also one more thing. When you see UAE here, there's also an extension of a region which is a part of Oman, that is Musandam Peninsula. This is a part of Oman. So you can note down this Musandam Peninsula is an extension of Oman. Is an extension of Oman. So Musandam Peninsula is an extension of Oman. So again, we are seeing various locations. Strait of Hormuz is connecting Persian Gulf and Gulf of Oman. DUQM is an important port, strategic port for India. Gulf of Masira, Rab e Khali, yes. Bordering countries, UAE, Saudi Arabia, Yemen are the bordering countries. Now let's DUQM. So let's see about this port. So India has a secured access. Yes, India has secured the access to the key port of DUQM. So India has been provided the access there. For what? Military use as well as logistical, means again the various transportation use. So this is part of India's maritime strategy to counter Chinese influence and activities in the region. And the port of DUQM is situated in the Oman, overlooking the Arabian Sea and the Indian Ocean. So hence it becomes important, because by locating your military capabilities as well as for logistical facilities, you can keep a check on the vast Arabian Sea also and deeper south till the Indian Ocean. DUQM. Very clear? DUQM now? Okay, yes, let me see. This also basically brand line we have mentioned. Yes, so okay, brand line. Muskan, if you joined late, we talked about the G77. China is saying itself it's a partner country to G77, not a member. Okay, good. Now, so now India and Italy. Yes, so India is Italy with respect to what the facilitating migration, the temporary migration to Italy has signed an agreement. Now, Government of India granted ex post facto approval to the migration and mobility agreement. So India has signed migration and mobility agreement between India and Italy. Now, what is the purpose? The agreement is set to strengthen cooperation on issues related to irregular migration. So let us regularize it and manage it also. Now, for various segments that include students going to Italy for studies, skilled workers, business persons, young professionals, foreign exchange and collaboration. So migration and mobility agreement with Italy. So which will be opening up temporary residence for Indian students, that is residency up to 12 months. So information is migration and mobility agreement recently signed with Italy. And reserved quota for workers. So let's talk about, there are certain locations and news with respect to Italy. But first of all, let's talk about Italy first. Yes, one more thing, that migration and mobility agreement. So Italy provides quota, yes, or number of people emerging coming from different countries. That quota, Italian government annual flow decree. So this is the quota that it provides. It's termed as flow decree in Italy. It sets the maximum number of non-EU citizens who can enter Italy for work and self-deployment. So flow decree is related with which of the following countries? That is Italy. And it applies to which type of countries? Non-EU countries. Non-EU countries. Non-EU countries now. So location, Italy. Now when you see Italy is actually protruding deep into the Mediterranean Sea. Again, when we talk about the Adriatic Sea is now visible here. Ionian Sea again coming to picture. Tyrrhenian Sea again coming to picture. Now one more sea in the northern part of Italy, that is Ligurian Sea. The fourth sea is now being added here. We have done Adriatic, we have done Tyrrhenian Sea, we have done Ionian Sea and Ligurian Sea. Mount Etna in news recently, good, Bhumika. Ligurian Sea now. Okay, so just again, let's focus on when we talking about Tyrrhenian Sea, it was talking about Tyrrhenian Sea borders Italy and France. Okay, Tyrrhenian Sea border Italy and France. So which part of France is Corsica? Corsica is an island of France. So who was born in Corsica? Any historical figure? Who was born in Corsica?
Napoleon.
Napoleon. Yes. So
Napoleon, yeah.
Napoleon was born in Corsica. So now, so when we talk about, so Tyrrhenian Sea is bordering Italy and Corsica, island of France. Sardinia and Sicily are the islands of Italy. So Sardinia and Sicily are the islands of Italy or Italy. You know? And here, so what we see on both sides, one side is Adriatic Sea, Tyrrhenian Sea, the south is Ionian Sea, and in the north is Ligurian Sea. Ligurian Sea. And when you see the mountains, so you must have heard about Apennines. Apennines is the mountain range from north to south of Italy. Apennines. Apennines is a mountain range from north to south. And when we talk about the Alps, Alps is in the northern part of Italy, bordering other bordering countries. So Alps, okay, Apennines are the two major mountain ranges, and the largest river of Italy is Po, River Po. So it crosses again from what? Yes. From west to east, yes. Horizontally, almost horizontally. So Po is the largest river, Alps in the north, Apennines from north to south, and four seas, Adriatic, Ionian, Tyrrhenian, and Ligurian Sea. Two islands, Sicily and Sardinia. So the Alps, yes. So Alps part of which lie within the neighboring countries. So France is a neighboring country, Switzerland, Austria, and Slovenia. So four neighboring countries of Italy are France, Switzerland, Australia, and Slovenia. And these all are lying on European Alps. Okay. So France, Switzerland, Austria, Apennines almost forming like a backbone of what? Italy, running from north to south. And even reaching the island of Sicily. Yes. Antigua means island of Sicily. So the extension of the Apennines is also seen in Sicily. Further, okay, if you want to see the map again, I hope it's very clear. Shall you move forward? So Adriatic, Ionian, Tyrrhenian, Ligurian Sea, Apennines reaching till Sicily. Alps means four bordering countries, France, Switzerland, Austria, and Slovenia. So France, Switzerland, Austria, and Slovenia, four countries. And longest river is Po. Now, like location which was in news, which is again linked with Italy, is Lake Garda. Lake Garda. So Italy was facing what extreme summers in the year 2023, and what was the Lake Garda's water level ultimately declined. Why? Because the lake water was diverted to feed already dry rivers like Po, River Po. So now, so Lake Garda is also known as Benaco, is the largest lake in Italy. Now it was in news because the water levels fell drastically. Why? Because the major river Po was also drying up. So, and the river was the major source for irrigation. So the lake's water was diverted towards what? River. So here the past condition of Po, the at least longest river, caused losses to farmers who normally rely to irrigate fields and rice. To compensate for loss, authorities allowed more water from the Lake Gadda to flow out to local rivers. Okay, that was the reason. That was the reason of decline of the water tables of Lake Gadda. So Lake Gadda, Italy. Now this another location, Lampedusa. Lampedusa, which is the major island which is being used by various migrants emerging from Africa and trying to enter Europe via Italy. Lampedusa. So Lampedusa, so we see Africa, this is the country Tunisia. This is Lampedusa. And this is what? Which island of Italy? This is Sicily. So Lampedusa is lying between what Tunisia and Italy is being used as a base for entering into Europe via Sicily and Italy. Lampedusa. So it's considered a frequent migration point for the people of Africa trying to enter Europe. So it is an island, sorry, spelling is wrong, island in the Mediterranean Sea. Lampedusa lies between Malta and Tunisia. So here Malta is also there. It's an arid and gets only the fresh water from rainfall. And since early 2000, the island has become a primary, yes, primary means major European entry point for migrants, mainly coming from Libya. So Lampedusa. I hope in such a manner the covering of location helps. Okay, so once we revise in the class, then you revise on your own, you will be able to remember various locations, and you try to look deep into the map also then. Okay, so what to focus on. So hence now, so since early 2000, islands have become a primary. So Lampedusa is an island which is become a primary base for migrants emerging from Africa and trying to enter Europe via Italy. Very clear. So now let's talk about something which happened between India and Argentina. Yes, in terms of what a certain form of partnership. Now, with respect to what lithium, yes, lithium, which is an important mineral resource. So, Ministry of Mines, Government of India, which is known as Kabil, Khanij Videsh India Limited, entered into exploration and development agreement with Argentina's miner that is called Camion. So India signed an agreement. India's what organization that is Khanij signed an agreement with what Argentinian mining company Camion and also Chilean mining company that is Enami for the possible exploration of what various mineral resources, especially lithium. Now there's a lithium triangle in South America, which is a major source for lithium emerging from South America, comprising of three countries: Argentina, Chile or Bolivia. So this is called a lithium triangle of South America. So Argentina, Chile and Bolivia. And this contains roughly half the world's known lithium resources. Now lithium, now let's something about lithium. So lithium is an alkali mineral, also termed as a white gold, because it is used extensively in terms of electronic industry as batteries. Is soft silvery white metal, the lightest metal of the periodic table. So again, important, the lightest metal of the periodic table. And please note, lithium is not a rare earth mineral. It's not. So UPSC can put a statement, lithium is a rare earth mineral, so it will be wrong. It's not a rare earth mineral. Major properties, it's very reactive, density is low, and excellent electrochemical properties. That's why it's being used in electrical. So major properties. So it's not a rare earth mineral, it's the lightest metal on the periodic table. And let's see the occurrence and top producers. So lithium found naturally in various minerals. So it's difficult to remember these type of what names, but sometimes UPSC, if you want to confuse you, create the question, looks very difficult, put such type of names also. But here, if you remember petalite, so petalite, you can remember petal. Petal means, you know, petal is is a part of a plant. Yes, so petal, you can remember. So it is extracted from these minerals. Now, the top producers of lithium are Australia, Chile, China, and Argentina. The producers, that means which are producing. In 2022, Australia was the world's leader in terms of lithium mine production, and followed by Chile and China, which were ranked second and third. So Australia, Chile, and China, 1, 2, and 3 in terms of production. And one more thing also came to news. Recently, a new lithium deposit was also found in United States, California's Salton Sea. So lithium areas. So lithium triangle. So what we are seeing here is a lithium triangle. So lithium triangle comprising of 3 countries. So Chile, Argentina, and Bolivia. In terms of production, Australia was tops, followed by Chile second and China third. Applications, we know the lithium is a very usable mineral source. Lithium is crucial component of rechargeable batteries. So lithium ion batteries you must have read in science and technology. Okay, smartphones, batteries, laptops, electric vehicles, and other electronics. And we know when the mobility is now moving towards what e-vehicles, so the demand for lithium is going up, yes, for the e-batteries, or for the e-vehicles, smartphones. Now it's also used in glass and ceramics. So lithium compounds are used to strengthen glass and ceramics, making them more durable and heat resistant. So another use of lithium is in what? Glass and ceramic industry. Now it is also used in medicine also. So medicine. Okay, so medicine, so lithium is used as a, yes, Bhumika, it is a critical mineral. Yes, it's not a rare earth mineral. Thank you. So lithium is used as a mood stabilizer in the treatment of bipolar disorder. So what is a bipolar disorder? Is basically it linked with mood swings. Sometimes you are happy, sometimes you are irritated, sometimes you are angry. Yes, that means to manage your mood. Yes, it's being used in form of medicine to control your mood swings. Now, lubricants means grease used in high pressure and high temperature applications. So that means for the batteries, both for the smartphones and the vehicles, okay, and a rising demand for that. Glass and ceramic industry, medicine for treating bipolar disorder, and lubrications. That is grease. Now, which are the areas of lithium in India? So, for example, when we talk about Jammu and Kashmir, there's a Salal Haima area in the Resi district, yes, in Jammu and Kashmir. And this is estimated, yes, this is estimated. It's not yet under production. And additional reserves are in what? Koderma and Girid in Jharkhand. Koderma and Girid in Jharkhand. So Jharkhand and the estimated reserves in Jammu and Kashmir. Clear? Now, with respect to Argentina, one more thing happened, social security agreement. Social security agreement that also happened, that took place. Now, in terms of social security, that means when the workers go in different countries, when Indian workers going in Argentina, so definitely they will be coming under social security schemes if that is applicable to the workers there. But when does what happen? Workers from the salary have to contribute certain pension fund from their side also. Then the government also add. Then the volume, the corpus of pension fund is created. Similarly, deduction from the salary is also done for PF also. And there's a contribution from the government side also. So these are the social security measures which are there for the workers in many countries. Now, for example, if the Indian worker is going to Argentina to work, so that means to prevent the duality of deductions. Okay, that means worker is also registered in India but working in what? Argentina. So government of India will also be deducting, then Argentina will also be deducting from the salary. So that will be a double loss for the worker in terms of what? Intake salary. So that type of duality is removed through the social security agreement. The worker is given an option whether to get a deduction done in the native country or in the host country. Okay, so now, so a social security agreement is an agreement between two countries that provide for protection of interests of the cross-border workers. Cross-border workers. So it applies to legislation in both India, Argentina, with respect to what old age security benefit, survivors pensions, permanent total disability pensions, these various social security. Now, how the contributions will be shared or transported, yes, from one country to another, this is an agreement. Now, for example, 3 types of benefit. Detachment. So detachment is an option where to get your deductions done, so the government can pay you benefit. So if you have to detach from your native country, that means your deduction will be done in the host country. If you say that I will be getting my deduction done in my native country, then the host country will not be doing it. Okay. So this implies the elimination of dual contribution. Okay. So this is the only thing that you need to know. For this, if the employee submits a certificate of coverage mentioning where the deduction should be done, the home country or the host country. Now, there's also exportability. Now, this exportability of pension clause under which an employee can choose to receive social security benefits in their host country or in their home country. So again, this is again a choice, but further, after quitting the work, for example, if the person has chosen for social security benefit in Argentina, but that person belongs to India. Now, after the work is over in Argentina, or the person is retired from Argentina, yes, can export the benefit to India. Yes, it can export the benefit to India. Okay, and then that will be continuing here in terms of saving. Yes. So this is the exportability pension clause under which an employee can choose to receive social security benefits. First of all, if getting the host country can be transferred to the home country. So this allows employees who have been receiving social security benefits in their host country to export the benefits to their home country. So first is detachment is choice where to get the deductions done. If you opted for your host country to do the deductions, you can export that saving or the amount to your home country after quitting the work, completing the work, or retirement. Very clear. Totalization, totalization is basically the calculation of benefit. Under totalization of benefits clause, the period of service rendered by an employee in a foreign country is counted for deciding the eligibility of benefits. Basically, it's the calculation how much benefits can be due to that person depending upon the number of years of work the person has put. Yes, that's called totalization. Very clear. All these 3 major terms come under social security agreement. Harsh, now you are visible. You were listening before. Okay. Harsh, locations हो रही हैं?
Yes, sir. कर रहे हैं,
Remember,
sir.
at least 2 questions will be coming from locations. 2 questions.
Yes, yes, sir.
But for answering 2 questions, we have to do 100 locations.
बहुत ज़्यादा, sir.
Okay. So, yes. So now location Argentina. Okay, now location Argentina. बहुत बात करी Argentina के बारे में. Let's talk about. So now the basic map you have seen of South America. Argentina is a very big country. Largest country there is Brazil, followed by Argentina. Now Argentina, the bordering country is Chile. Okay, the bordering country is Bolivia. So Chile, Argentina, and Bolivia is a part of what? Lithium Triangle. Okay, so Paraguay is again a landlocked country. Now it also borders Uruguay and Brazil. So how many bordering countries? Uruguay, Brazil, Paraguay, Bolivia, and Chile. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 countries. 5 countries are there. Now, when you see the geographical divisions, so in the north of Argentina is a plain area, Chaco Plains. So Chaco Plains is in the north. Now Pampas is again a very fertile area for agriculture. Pampas. And the plateau area is Patagonia. Patagonia is a plateau area. So this is a plateau area. Pampas is again plain and fertile area with high grasslands, now cleared for agriculture. Again, Chaco Plains, agriculture. agriculture and also pastures, dairy, the cattle rearing, all these. So Argentina is a vast country located in the southern tip of South America. It's the 8th largest country in the world and 2nd largest country in South America after Brazil. It's bordered by Andes. So you know Andes? Andes is a huge, long mountain chain which is acting as a natural border between Chile and Argentina. To the east of the Andes, the interior of the country is fertile flat grasslands called pampas. Eastern border of the country is Atlantic Ocean. Bolivia, Paraguay. The country is divided into 4 regions. Andes is one region. The north is Chaco Plains, Pampas. So Pampas is in what? Eastern. Yes, you should know. Pampas is in eastern. Yes, eastern Argentina. The north is the Chaco Plains. Patagonia is southern. So southern, yes, so Argentina. Now you must have recently heard about a thing called free movement regime. So free movement regime with respect to what? India and Myanmar. Free movement regime. So here. So this is going to be our last coverage of the day, free movement regime. Now what is that free movement regime? Now India plans to review the free movement regime which is already there between India and Myanmar. Now what is free movement regime and what is the background? So here comes into picture modern Indian history and the Treaty of Yandabu, the first Anglo-Burmese war. Okay, so earlier the northeastern region of India was under the control of Kingdom of Burma. But now when the Britishers were extending the reach of British India, so there was a conflict between what? Anglo and Burma. Yes, that is Anglo-Burmese war, which finally settled the boundary between India and Myanmar through the Treaty of Yandabu. So now, so much of India's northeast was under Burmese occupation. With the Treaty of Yandabu in 1826, we established the current boundary between India and Myanmar. The Treaty of Yandabu was signed by Archibald Campbell. Yes, modern India mein aa jayega naam, from the Britishers side, and it ended the first Anglo-Burmese war. However, when this was naturally bound to happen. When you create boundaries, you are definitely dividing the villages, you are definitely dividing the communities, and the communities which are almost similar. So hence there was a requirement about intermingling of those communities together, not permanently divided. So hence, however, the borders separated communities with shared ethnicity and culture, including Nagas, yes, Kukis, Chin and Mizo communities in Mizoram and Manipur. So currently, India and Myanmar share around what? 1,600 kilometers of border, which across Manipur, Mizoram, Nagaland and Arunachal Pradesh. So this clearly means what? That Myanmar borders 4 states in northeast. Which are those 4 states? Manipur, Mizoram, Nagaland and Arunachal Pradesh. Now, free movement regime. But this is a porous border because it's a free movement regime. Only 10 kilometers fenced in Manipur. Otherwise, it's porous border. Now, see, when we see this 1,643 kilometer, it's a little blurred map, but I still will try to work it out here. So, Arunachal Pradesh is around 520 kilometers. Nagaland, it is around 215 kilometers. Manipur is 398 kilometers. And Mizoram again is 510 kilometers. So that means the largest border is with what? Arunachal Pradesh, 520. Followed by Mizoram, Manipur and Nagaland. Now, we have just read that out of these 1643 kilometers, only 10 kilometers is fenced. For the other, there is a free movement regime. So the FMR was established in 2018 as a part of India's Act East policy, where the people are allowed to venture. Indians can venture into Myanmar, Myanmar people can venture into India up to the maximum extent of 16 kilometers either side of the border, 16 kilometer. So free cross-border movement up to 16 kilometers without a visa. Without a visa. Now the individual residing on the border need a 1-year border pass for stays lasting up to 2 weeks in neighboring country. See, they can cross on daily basis, but if they want to stay on the other side, so they will be requiring 1-year border pass for which the stays lasting up to 2 weeks are allowed. Okay. And it is also aimed to facilitate local border trade, improve access to education, health, and border. Now, but now there's certain what influx of migrants coming from what Myanmar. That's why there's a requirement of what maybe having a relook on FMR regime. So the potential reason for reconsidering the FMR is the security concerns. Now increased infiltration. So influx of illegal migrants, particularly from Chin, Naga communities and Rohingyas from Myanmar, they are entering. Drug trafficking, arms smuggling. So these are porous borders which can be utilized by various anti-social elements also. And in just insurgency activities, there are various active militia groups there which can be funded and can be provided also weapons. Yes. So that's why there are chances that the FMR regime is under consideration, reconsideration. But FMR, India and Myanmar, now it originated on the basis of India's Act East policy. India's Myanmar border is the result of Treaty of Yandabu, First Anglo-Burmese War. Very clear? So now location Myanmar. So Myanmar is a country in western portion of mainland Southeast Asia. Now the bordering countries are 5. So India is a bordering country, Bangladesh is a bordering country, China, Thailand and Laos are the bordering countries, 5 neighboring countries. And the largest river is Irrawaddy. Irrawaddy is the largest river. And even the new capital of Myanmar, that is Nay Yi Thaw. Yes, Nay Yi Thaw is the new capital. Initially it was Rangoon, you must be knowing. Now the new capital Nay Yi Thaw is also lying on the banks of Irrawaddy river. Yes. So let's see the map now. So I have included one riverine map because there are certain important rivers here. Yes, important rivers here. So now important, so Chindwin river, yes, is an important river, Chindwin. So Chindwin again is a tributary of Irrawaddy river. Okay, so Chindwin river is a tributary of Irrawaddy river. So it's meeting Irrawaddy. Okay. Now there's another big river that's called Salween river. Salween river is again, so Salween river is somewhere here forming the border between what Myanmar and Thailand. So Siam is Thailand. So Salween river is forming the border between for certain extent between Myanmar and Thailand. So major rivers you need to remember, Chindwin river is a major river, but it's a tributary of the biggest river, that is Irrawaddy. Salween river is another major river. Now, when we see the other map of what Myanmar, we find what the neighboring locations. So neighboring locations, what we find here is Bangladesh is a neighboring country, India is a neighboring country, China is a neighboring country, okay. Laos is a neighboring country, and Thailand. So Vietnam is not a neighboring country. So do not get confused. Cambodia is not a neighboring country. Now there's a one big plateau which is also popular, well known as Shan Plateau. Shan Plateau in Myanmar, which is again bordering what China as well as Thailand and also Laos. And which are the rebels? Even there was a question asked maybe in 2023 itself. The Kachin rebels, yes. There are two rebels organizations, Kachin and Karen, and they belong to what? The Shan Plateau area of Myanmar, yes. Kachin and Karen. Now, yes, one important port, Sitwe port. Okay, so again, you are reading about Sitwe port. Again, where is in which state of which province or state of Myanmar, Sitwe port? Can you name the province?
Irrawaddy itself.
The province or the state where the Sitwe port comes. Which is the native place of Rohingyas? Yes.
Sir, it's Rakhine province.
Huh?
Rakhine province.
Yes, Rakhine province. Yes, Rakhine, Rakhine province. Good.
Hmm.
Rakhine province. So Sitwe port. Now, okay. Which is the major port of Syria? Which is the major port of Syria? Okay. Latakia? Latakia. Major ports of Lebanon? Anyone besides Beirut? Besides Beirut? Is Tyre, Tyre, Sidon? Okay. You may be knowing the ports of Israel, yes? Okay, so revise.
Sir, it's Haifa
Haifa in the north, yes.
and
Right also.
Ashdod
Ashdod, yes, in the middle.
and Alet port.
Aleppo.
Alet port, sir.
Alet in what? The southern part, yes.
Also.
Okay, good.
Ashkelon port as well, sir.
Ha. And can you name 2-3 cities of Syria?
Damascus,
Damascus is the capital. Aleppo.
The
Aleppo.
Latakia.
Latakia, the port. Okay, so yes, you need to revise. So locations. So please do locations very sincerely. I hope the things are helping you out in terms of what filtering the current affairs. Yes, I hope
Yes,
that
sir.
today's session was also very impactful with respect to your revision.
Yes,
And
sir.
you're supposed to revise, and we are going to continue with such things. Maybe 2 more days for international issues. Then we'll be moving towards maybe what should I be doing next? Schemes first. Are you so will you liking that when we are going to resume after completion of this week, Monday next, should we start with schemes or with environment issues?
So environmental issues we can.
Environment issues. Yes, because environment issues, there are more chances of what around 8 to 10 questions. Yes, correct.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Environment will do, followed by schemes.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, take it. So please revise. We will resume the class tomorrow with more international issues, locations, organizations, and yes, agreements. So thank you for participation.
Thank you, sir.
please-
Actually, these locations are like helping out in like connecting all the other things.
Yes, they will be helping you out. So, and this again, I am reminding you as we are going to cover the current affairs in detail of what 15 months at least. Yes, that
Okay,
means
sir.
there's no need of revising now the magazines if you're not read, because don't
Yes.
break your head now with magazines. Okay, okay. So,
Thank you, sir, for simplifying it all.
so thank you all of you for also coming and listening. Okay, so just be regular in the classes if you have what time, and yes, definitely.
Yes, sir.
Let's meet tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Good night.
Thank you, sir.